Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I wanted to cover German stocks. As you may have noticed, German stocks have been really working in 2025. There's a lot of macro reasons why that's happening. First and foremost, Europe hasn't been performing great over the last couple of years, but now there's a lot of big impacts on their economies. Most notably is they're going to start really building out infrastructure. They're going to really start building out their military. That's going to create a lot of demand for German companies. Year to date, the DAX, which is the index for German stocks, is up 14%. Over the last year, it's up 27%. So it's really been working. When I compare that to the S&P, the S&P is going in the opposite direction. The S&P is down 6% year to date, and if you measure from the high to where we're at now, the S&P is in correction territory. It's down just a little bit over 10% negative. So in opposite direction is the DAX. Just year to date, we're less than 3 months into the year, and it's outperforming the S&P by 20%. It caught my attention. I started buying into an ETF that gets me invested in the DAX because if you look at the performance, whether we look at just 2025 or the last 12 months, it's substantial outperformance out of the DAX. I'm here in the United States, and it's hard for me to understand foreign markets. There's a lot going on in other countries that I'm just not very familiar with. So I decided to invest in German stocks by investing in the Franklin FTSE Germany ETF. And it was the one that had really low fees, and I thought gave me a good list of companies to invest in. So far, so good. Year to date, this is up 18.46%. It is a positive in my portfolio on a year when it's frankly really tough here in the United States. So I'm glad I invested in this, and I continue to buy into this ETF on every occasion that either gives me a price on that given day that is slightly lower or just slightly higher or in between. I just want to load up on this ETF, maybe invest $30,000 to $40,000 and just have a really nice position in German stocks. Now let's take a look at some individual stocks that are in Germany. So as you may know, Germany has a very high talent level, intellect level, and they have one of the biggest software companies out there, which is SAP. SAP develops software that big businesses use and run. And they have a substantial market cap of $300 billion. They generate about $35.38 billion of revenue annually, has somewhat of a high PE at 38. Analysts really like the stock, but it is priced a little bit high. Year to date, it's only up 3.65, but over the last year, it's been doing really well, up 31%. Over the 5 year, it's done really well, up 151%. Things I like about SAP is they do have really a good moat because switching off of SAP is very difficult for big businesses. They're pretty much entrenched in their biggest customers, and they continue to grow their business. The growth in the trailing 12 months was 9.5%, which is really good. This company drives free cash flow and profitability because it's a software company. Software companies tend to have very good margins. In the case of SAP, it's 73%, and they have good profit and really good cash flow margins. So SAP is a solid company. I think it's priced quite fairly. You see the stock price has really gone up over 5 years, over the 12 months. So I don't know that there's big opportunity to take advantage of a discount. 6 analysts cover the stock, and they believe that the stock is priced at a premium of almost 7%. I can't argue with that. It's a really good company, but I think it's fairly priced. Another German company is Allianz, and they're listed as an insurance company, but I also know that they're into financial services. And this company is $144 billion market cap. They do about $107 billion of revenue. Their PE ratio is 14.2, which isn't too bad. And this is an insurance company. Insurance has been doing really well here in the US, and it looks like it's been doing well in Germany. This stock's up 30% over the 1 year. Year to date, this is really working. It's up 20%. Nicely done, Allianz. The revenue growth is okay. It's 6%. I'd just say okay because it's not like 16% or 60%. Insurance companies know how to make money. They know how to control risk. And this company's been driving very high free cash flows. Nicely done. I already own US based insurance companies. One of them is Chubb that has some connection to Europe as well. But this one looks like a really good stock as well. The the stock overall may be discounted. There's no analyst uh, opinions on stock analysis for Allianz, but I've known of this company for quite a while. It's one of the very well-known German companies to consider. If you're into insurance companies, financial services companies, this is a big player in Germany. Deutsche Telekom is like an AT&T over in Germany, and they have a substantial market cap, almost $180 billion in market cap. Revenue is $122 billion. Low PE at 15. And overall, this stock's been really working up 22% year to date. Over the 1 year, up 52%. And it's really worked over the 5 year. Any way you slice it, this one's just doing great. And overall, it's in communications, and people need communications. They need this type of company around for them to communicate and run economies and pretty much run everybody's lives. The growth rate's been pretty regular for a communications company, up 3.22%. And this company drives free cash flow, substantial free cash flow, and they've grown free cash flow. I think that's why the stock price has really flourished, is the free cash flow has really gone up. And remember, the value of a company is the present value of all the expected future free cash flows. And this company has done a stupendous job of growing that free cash flow. There's also semiconductor companies that operate out of Germany. Infineon is one of the bigger semiconductor companies in Germany. They're a $48 billion market cap company. They've been doing really well. Year to date, they're up 10%, while US semiconductor companies have been really struggling. This one's also interesting because over the last year, they haven't really flourished. And over the last 5 years, they have flourished. They have seen a plateauing similar to what we've seen with NVIDIA, just a lot longer. So this one here, their primary market seems to be automotive, among other use cases. Their PE is quite high, and overall, this company is not growing. So I'd be careful with semiconductor companies because they're cyclical. But since they just kind of had their downturn, this company may be seeing growth on the horizon, growth starting this year or maybe next. Remember that Germany plans to really expand their infrastructure, and they may need more semiconductors from Infineon to do so. And the final company I wanted to talk about is BASF. And this is a chemical materials company. They provide a lot of materials to go into other industries. And since the German economy is expected to really grow, these guys are going to benefit, which goes to show in the current year, year to date, these guys are up almost 28%. But they haven't flourished over the 1 year or the 5 years, showing that they may be starting a really nice upward trajectory to their stock price. The company has not grown for a couple of years, and they are cyclical. So they may be starting a growth cycle. Might be an interesting stock to take a look at. So we're seeing a rotation in 2025 where the US based stocks for a couple of years have really flourished, but in 2025, they're giving up some of those gains. It's expected. They can't go up forever. And German stocks have really flourished. They really caught my attention, and I started to invest. I'm going to continue to buy into that ETF that I like and really play the upswing in the German economy. I hope you enjoyed my video and maybe gave you a few ideas of how to invest in Germany. Keep in mind, I'm not recommending you buy, hold, or sell any stock I just covered. I'm just sharing with you some of the analysis that I've completed and research I completed. Thank you for watching. Good luck investing.